What's going on, everybody? John Stamper. I'm here live in San Antonio. It is Dr. Scott Luna's Breakaway seminars, and it is day one. And I'm very excited to spend this first day with all of the companies that are here that are sponsoring the event. What's very unique in regards to how Dr. Luna has positioned these companies, he speaks about each of them to all of the attendees here. What they do and the services they provide fits into the Breakaway method, which I love. And so we wanted to make sure that we took some time today to have them share with you what they do, what it's like to be here at Breakaway, but most importantly, like how their service can help you in your dental practice. So we're going to get this thing kicked off. I'm very excited to be with Adam Smith of Schooley Mitchell. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing great, John. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. All right. So remind me, this is your second, third?
It's actually my third.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I've attended, this will be my second business master's seminar, and I attended the startup.
Awesome.
So it's been fantastic. Great networking opportunities.
All right, so let's get into Schooley Mitchell. I love what you're doing. I think it's one of those things that people are growing their businesses, they're busy, and we can tend to forget about the details of spending money and where money creeps and all of that. So I know that's some of the things that you do. But yeah, let everybody know how you're helping companies, dental practices, all of that.
Absolutely. So Schooley Mitchell is the largest independent cost containment firm in North America. Okay. So we work with all sorts of businesses. I'm focusing my business in the dental space. Mm-hmm. But basically, we make sure that all of your vendor costs are optimized. We're making sure that you're paying the most competitive rates when it comes to merchant processing, when it comes to telecom, it comes to data, it comes to waste, facility supplies, uniforms. So it's those costs that every business, and dentists included, are paying for every month. And they tend to be those categories that you don't pay a ton of attention to.
Right.
You kind of get the bill every month. It feels kind of the same weight, so you just end up paying it. And what's great about Schooley Mitchell is we work completely on a contingency basis. So we offer a free complimentary cost analysis to benchmark your costs against the competitive marketplace. We ensure that all the vendors we work with provide great service. And there's one of two outcomes when we work with our clients. You either find out that you're optimized, congratulations, I love to give that news to my clients, or we're going to present some really interesting opportunities for you to potentially save money.
I love the validation piece. We've talked about that a lot, where there are situations where people bring you in and it is about letting them know that they're doing a good job.
Yes.
You get the cost-cutting trophy per se.
Yes.
So we were talking, I know this morning, one of the things that Dr. Luna likes to do is before the seminar starts is go around and talk to the companies and learn a little bit about what you guys are doing, more importantly, like what you're sharing here with the attendees at his seminar. You had a conversation with him this morning. What were some of the things you guys discussed?
Yeah, so Dr. Luna is fantastic. He only invites sponsors here, companies here that he feels very strongly can help the attendees. So he today suggested he's going to introduce Schooley Mitchell and myself to his consulting clients. So there's just a ton of networking opportunity. There's a ton of opportunity to bring complementary services to really help the dental practices be as successful as possible.
So we just had a break, and those are always fun because unlike a lot of other events, I watch the attendees. They make right turn, left turn. They come over and spend some time with all of you, which is great. You have some really good conversations. What are some of the things that they're asking here?
So a lot of times they just haven't heard of cost containment.
Yeah.
They're obviously here focusing on growing their practice, and a lot of the sponsors are very specific to the dental space. So I think when they meet Schooley Mitchell, there's a little bit of an orientation to understand that I'm going to be talking about cost categories that almost all businesses have, but dental practices, you have them too.
Right.
So there's just a little bit of an education, a little bit of understanding how we work, and they get really excited when they find out that it's all on a contingency basis. My only motivation is to save them as much money as possible, because our fees are generated from the savings that we help find and implement for them. So
Such a great concept. So for some of the initial dental practices that you've been working with, I know a lot of cases you work with the office manager as well. What has that been like? What's been some of the reaction with some of the categories that you talked about? What are some aha moments when they do go through that session with you? You do that analysis. What are you finding?
I think there's a lot of surprise that they have a lot of times multiple vendors in each of these different categories. There's also a lot of conversation around the features and functionalities. So like most service providers, there's an incentive to sell you more than what you need.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the per item price. A lot of times it's just asking a couple questions to really understand how this service is integrating into the practice and making sure you're only paying for the features and functionalities that you want and that you use. So I think that's a big aha moment. I think also there's just a lot of, because they're not the categories that you're paying a ton of attention to, I think there's always just a general assumption that we're probably paying more or less what we should be.
Yeah.
And on average, we find 28% savings.
Yeah.
And the number that I like to quote is 80% of the time you get to stay with your current vendor. We just are able to ask a few questions of this service provider, and typically they're willing to make some adjustments to their current pricing.
How is that type of relationship? Where like you mentioned, 80% of the time they get to work with who they're working with. So if I'm that vendor, I'm thinking, okay, like I like Adam. Like
Yes.
I get how he's not going to, persuade them or influence them to move. But what is that like from the vendor's perspective to know that they have somebody like you and Schooley Mitchell in there that's helping them with this?
That's a great question. So a lot of times folks will assume that they're not excited when they get a phone call from Schooley Mitchell, but honestly, I find it's quite the opposite. So we do not have any preferred pricing arrangements with any of our vendors. We work with over 3,000 across our different 12 cost categories. And so we're bringing these vendors opportunities to quote on other clients. So I think our philosophy is everyone should make money, they just should make too much. So we have really good relations with our vendors, and the vendors that we recommend, we feel very good about their service quality, because it isn't just about getting the cheapest price. If the service is not up to par, then it's not worth it. So I think we've got a really great ecosystem with our vendors.
When I learned about Schooley Mitchell and the work that you were doing, the first thing that came to my mind was exactly that, which is I feel like for companies that want to do a good job and they want to build loyal customers that continue to use their services, I almost feel like you are can be an advocate for them to make think about it, Adam. Sometimes those companies have reps come in and out, they have management changes come in and out, and so with that comes the ability for you to bring them closer, many cases, to that company, I feel like.
Absolutely, and we end up becoming the one-stop shop for that vendor category. So if we work with a client to optimize their waste or their merchant processing or telecom, if they have any future needs, they need to add more services, they're adding another location, they call Schooley Mitchell, and our cost analysts have great relationships with the vendors, and we will manage the implementation of a new service or reduce a service. So we really add more than just making sure that that you're paying competitive rates.
All right, so if you're a dental practice out there watching, you're excited about what Adam's talking about, you feel like it's something that would be helpful for you, maybe you've had this in the back of your mind, with some of those categories, and it's necessary. Adam, where can people learn more about you? What's the best way to get in touch with you, all of that stuff?
Honestly, just really straightforward. Call me up, 415-572-0948. I'm a franchise owner. If you reach out, you're going to work with me on that particular opportunity. So I'd love to just walk you through a little bit more of what we need to do our analysis, and honestly, it's less than a half hour to really onboard a client in a particular cost category. So the analysis is free, the time commitment is really small, and we could be saving you thousands of dollars for years to come.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Adam, first of all, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a Breakaway partner and sponsor. I know Dr. Luna is excited to have you here, and when we share, it's exciting for us to watch when companies come back more and more, because I think as you're starting to see, it fits more into his program. And I think, a lot of the doctors that are here, they get a lot of value out of it. So thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And enjoy the rest of your time here in San Antonio.
All right. Thanks, John.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.